Y'all, I swear, everybody living in the end times of Revelations, but me. Or I'm kind of living, cause I'm amongst everybody else that's in that timeline. So I'm like getting like a energetic projection, cause that's what they believe. That's what they're in. So that's what they projecting. You know what I'm saying? My okay, I've been getting memories that feel like I'm gonna just tell it. I'm just give it to y'all how it's coming to me. So my brother, right, came to this planet and how does it go? How does it go? Hold on, let me slow down. Spirit, how do you want me to tell this? Okay, so the origin story, right, of humans. When you don't have highly advanced technology as a part of the story, then how we came to be sounds like two people had sex and then they just kept having sex and then fucked on their children, right? For them to have, yeah, that paints a hideous picture. That's not how it went down. That's not how it went down for us, at least. I don't know whose story that is, but it ain't mine. Okay, and I've been the whoever story that is, they tried to do things like God, right? But they didn't have that highly advanced technology. So like the next thing their brain came up with is like, okay, well, how do I be the creator of all? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fuck with my children. Like again, keep the it in the bloodline. No, what I feel in my soul is what happened is that the Anunnaki, which is a part of the bloodline I'm a part of, we came down. We didn't have sexual organs or genitalia. You know what I'm saying? But we were like aliens. You know what I'm saying? Highly advanced intellectually and technologically. Um, and like our planet was dying, right? We needed some gold. Um, we came down here and we seen the animal life on the planet, how strong they were, and we combine our extraterrestrial DNA with the primitive DNA to create a hybrid ultra race, you know what I'm saying, that could withstand the atmosphere on this planet, um, and have the intellectual properties of our original selves, but with combined with the physical advantages that the primitive life on this planet has. Um, and so through genetic modifying, we created when that question of what came first, the chicken or the egg? It was the egg. We created the egg. We created the embryo or the womb, the atmosphere for life to develop from scratch to and then to develop into whatever it is that we designed that embryo to grow. Um, they've been trying to pervert. I don't know who the fuck they is, but they ain't me. They've been trying to pervert God, and they've been trying to pervert the origin story. They've been trying to pervert everything because they're perverted, and they want everyone to suffer along with them, whoever the fuck they is. They want everyone to suffer along with them to think that like that now they're born sinner shit. That's them. That's not us. That's not us. I was not born this way. I was born into it, not born of it. If that makes sense. And God's saying that even if you're born of it, you can still choose. You choose God, choose the light while you still breathing. Is your opportunity. Every day you wake up, God lets you wake up and get that breath in. So it's an opportunity to acknowledge, give thanks, Because if he's still letting you breathe, he's still giving you a chance. He's still considering you. So consider the opportunity that God's giving you by letting you wake up every day. And I say, thank you, God. I would not be alive today without God. You know, God, you see, and whoever they is, right? They they go before us. They listen to our conversations, gather intel, right, and then go before us to just try to discredit any faith in that we put into investing into a belief of God, right? They try to destroy all of that. So they go before they work overtime. They go before, and I swear these motherfuckers, these vampires, they like a hive mind. They and anybody that sold their soul, they being used by them too. Um, there's famous people that sold their soul. There's non-famous people that sold their soul. You got career criminals that sold their soul, and so they could be anywhere. Honestly, anybody that have you sell your body, sell sex. If you come to them and ask them about, I asked somebody to help me make. I was like, where the money moves at? I was just thinking, I was like, God, where's the money? And this person showed up. They got money in their name, right? Money in their nickname showed up. I mean, I'm not bashing. I'm not talking shit. I'm just sharing an experience. Um, he shows up and he's telling me about how it's his kid's birthday and he wants to kid get his kid he wants to get his kid something. I'm like, well, what do you want to get your kid? And then like we never got around to I never got around getting an answer to that question. I be feeling like people know like okay, I made a wish to God one time. I was like, I wish I could grant people wishes. I think I think God granted me that wish because people come up to me and they'll be telling me something. They're telling me a story. It sounds like they're explaining. So I'm like going like this. I'm like letting them know I'm comprehending what they're saying. And the whole time they're asking me, they're making a wish. Whole time they're making a wish. And I started to catch on, so I'm like, wait. So as they're listening, I'm like, okay, okay, okay. And when they start trying to get me to go like that, I'm like, and I see the shift in their response. They're like, and they try to play it. Man, do y'all know how many? Y'all don't know how many times I've thought, like just those intrusive thoughts. Like when I catch a motherfucker playing in my face like that, I just like, all right. Next thing I want to do is right in the all that shit. And then they don't want to confirm myself to me. These motherfuckers is literally lying on my name, saying doing all this shit so that they can keep me around, so that they can keep me binded to their low vibrational situation, to be in competition with me, and to manipulate the interaction with me to get what they want while they keep me like no, like I'm just there to serve them. Like no, Jesus already sacrificed. He ain't doing that. He's not coming back to do it again. He's coming back to collect toe tags. Shit. God said, God said this for a reason. He said, Jesus is for anyone that wants to get. Jesus is the way. He's not trying to make it hard for y'all. He sent Jesus to. First of all, Jesus is Adam reincarnated as the version of himself to make right with the wrong, make the wrong right. He blame shifted and was like, oh, but Eve, you know what I'm saying? The devil's gonna come to the woman first to get to the man because the devil's scared of the man. I feel like the devil's a bitch, low key. The devil's a female or a feminine man. I don't know if there's a difference. Anyways, um, and so yeah, Adam, when God came to the garden to then see them, right? He's like, "Where y'all at?" And they was like, "Oh, we're naked. We don't have any clothes on." Who told you you were naked? Oh, you must have did what I told you not to do. And Adam was like, "But Eve." He gave up his responsibility because God gave the man responsibility, right? God Adam gave that up to the woman. And so fast forward to when Jesus incarnates. Jesus was God giving Adam, God was like, all right, you're gonna go here. You're gonna deal with this is the world is like this because you gave up responsibility. You wasn't responsible. You know what I'm saying? And so now you gotta deal with all your children's behavior, attitude, all that, whatever they had to dish out. Jesus had to come in and accept that and still forgive them, love them, and provide for them an opportunity, a way, you know what I'm saying, to be saved from the generational curse of disobeying. And it's not necessarily even in the disobeying, it's in the God warned us what things to stay away from because of what they would bring. So like it's not so much as a punishment for disobeying. It's just like, hey, look, I told you. I told you what that led to and you went over there and still fucked with that. So like I like look, I'm just the messenger. God God's a messenger. Or God has his messengers. And God is a messenger and as well, God's everything. And so Jesus came back, or Jesus came to, reincarnation of Adam. Jesus came to forgive, basically forgive him, his former self and his offspring for, and also to ask and also to earn forgiveness. He took the gesture of loving unconditionally and taking all the negativity. He took on all the world's hate and karma and da, da, da. It was really his own, but he had to endure it while still being loving and forgiving, and because it was something he created in his as his former self. So as his present self, then newer version of himself, but you know he had to do things differently, and it was the consequences of his decisions that he took on. He was coming back to take responsibility for all that. So he took on the responsibility of everyone's to give. Now, if you believed in his sacrifice, boom, you saved. Now, the tricky part is living in this while we're still here, living in that salvation. That's what the devil don't want to let us do. But AKA our old versions of ourselves that you know that are still blame shifting and prosecuting everybody else. That's why God said, "Blame not, so you or judge not, so you not be judged." Real shit right there.